Hello again, this is Corey Ferguson for Geometrica Tattoo app. So we've added a bunch of new features since the last tutorial, so I wanted to put together a little video to show you what they are, how to use them, what they can do. So hope you find this helpful, as always, and thanks for checking it out. So let's get started by opening up the app. Okay, our first feature is something that came by very popular demand. Previously, our rotation effect, where you would draw your mandalas, has always been stationary in the center of the screen. So we actually ran an Instagram poll allowing people to choose which feature you wanted us to work on next. So which one we're going to make top priority. And it was pretty overwhelmingly decided that they wanted to be able to move the center of this wherever they wanted on the page. So you do that just by clicking on here, movable center. Now you can move this around anywhere you want. But now that you can do this, another question arose. Suppose you've done what I've done here and made 4. What if you want to go back and work on the first one again? How do you get the center back, accurately? You can get it pretty accurate using your hand and moving the Apple Pencil itself, but it's not 100% accurate. It's really difficult, nearly impossible to get it exactly in the same spot. So we came up with a solution for that. And that's the next feature I'm going to show you. It's up here. There's a new menu that drops down called Snap with a bunch of options here. So let's get into those next. Click on Snap, the menu drops down. The check mark here indicates that the snap is off. So we can either snap it to half numbers or whole numbers. So what this refers to is when you've got a blank page like this, we've got no grids here, you can move this around and you see the numbers that are appearing here as you move things. Same with when you transform something. It's going to move in like 29.1 to whatever, it's all got the decimals. So that's when it makes it really hard to accurately, put your center back where it was. So you can make it a lot easier by going to whole numbers. So now it's not going to stop at all the decimals. It's going to, in a sense, snap to each of the whole numbers of your pixel thing here. So if you want to do it accurately, I would suggest zooming in. Makes it a lot easier. A way to do this much more efficiently, click on View, turn on your square grid. Now go to Snap and snap to square grid. So anytime you're placing this, it's only going to snap to the intersections of this grid. So I'll zoom in so you can see even better. Like if I let it go with my pencil here, it's not going to stop here. It's only going to go to the closest intersection. So if you're making a mandala over here, then you go over here, and you want to work on this first one again, boom, it's 100% perfectly accurate in the spot that it was before. Easy, very easy to just jump back and forth, have it right where you want it. And it doesn't have to be just the rotation tool. This also works for any of the rulers. So if you've got a circle ruler on, for example. So if you're working over here with a circle ruler, and you move over here, do something else with it, and you want to get back to where you were before, very easily, just snaps right to the center and you've got your perfect location again. So it also works with our isometric grid. You just do the same process. In View, you change it to show the isometric grid. And then in Snap, you snap to the isometric grid. And it'll be the same thing. I'm going to zoom in to show you. This will again only snap to the intersections, or in isometric, it also is built in to snap to the very centers of those diamond shapes made by the isometric grid. You can do the intersections or the centers. So once you move it around, very easy to find again. So let's go back to the square grid for a second. I'm going to show square grid, snap to square grid, and then I'm going to show you the last function of the snap menu. I saved the best one for last, snap line tool. So when you go into your drawing tool menu here, the line tool here, second from the bottom, You should be familiar with this by now if you use the app from the other tutorial as well. This is the one where you place your pencil on the screen, move it around until you're happy, and the line doesn't happen until you let go. So it's perfectly straight lines every time. So this one will only snap to those same intersections. Doesn't always have to be square. You can put it on any angle too, as long as it lines up with the intersections. But makes for a very different way of drawing. And as with everything in Geometrica, the fun stuff is really stacking all these features. So let's use the snapping to square grid. Let's turn on our repeat effect in vertical. You see I'm going to size it up so it matches perfectly with the square grid. I'm going to turn on my mirror tool as well. And let's see what happens. And there you go. So let's check out the isometric grid again. Snap to the isometric grid. I've still got my snap to line tool on. So here we can do some isometric drawing. If you're not sure what I mean by that, any of those like 3D cube sort of shapes that you see a lot in geometric tattooing, those are all sort of drawn with a isometric grid in mind, which is what we have here. So now that our line tool is snapping to it, it makes it really, really easy to draw those kind of things. So let's do some more isometric drawing, but I'm going to toggle on the continuous line feature. That's something you can customize about this drawing tool. Let's turn on the rotation effect. I'm going to turn off the movable center for right now. It's just so quick and easy to get it a very accurate drawing by working this way. And just like that, just by touching the random points at the various intersections on the screen, it couldn't be easier. A very fun way to draw. And then the last new feature I want to show is some new shortcuts we've introduced. Most of the shortcuts in our app, the little efficiency things, are done by long pressing on our icons. You can turn them on and off quickly just by doing that without bothering to open up the drop-down menus. If you don't need to adjust anything, you can go faster just by the long press. Turns things on and off, switches to your last color, switches to your last drawing tool. So we've added some of those over in our floating icons on the left. This is where we've made use of your non-drawing hand. You get to be more efficient, not have to move your drawing hand by using your other hand to hit undo, redo, quickly switch to between eraser and drawing tool. So we've thrown some new shortcuts in here. If you long press on the undo, for example, it'll just undo quickly, which is nice. You don't have to sit there and hit it 12 times. You can just hold it. So let's redo, undo. And the other one is to change the thickness of whatever drawing tool you happen to have in here at the time. You just long press, the thickness will pop up in the window at the top, and you slide up and down to change the thickness. It's not, it's not hard to pop into this menu and use the slider, but it's even more efficient just to do it from here. We've only had this in here for a short time currently, but I'm already addicted to it. Like, I can't live without it. I love having that option there. So we've actually gone out of our way to include quite a variety of shortcuts in the app so that we can sort of try to meet everyone's different workflows. For example, we've got the standard 2-finger undo, 3-finger redo. Or on the version 2 of the Apple Pencil, for example, you can double tap to make something happen. So in our app, we've set that to be switching between the marker and eraser. So you can do that up here with the menu, you can do that here with your other hand, or you can do it on the pencil, whatever suits you. Me personally, I always work with the rubber grip, so using this is not something that I would often do, but we try to give everybody the drawing experience that works best for them if we can. So those are all the latest features at the moment. There's always more coming, and there will always be more tutorials coming as well. So subscribe to us here on YouTube. You can also follow us and interact with us on Instagram. Thanks so much, and happy geometric drawing.